Good morning, everybody. Hi. So we are so excited to talk to you today about the importance of good reading and the implementation of the READ Act. My name is MJ Bauer, and I'm the Executive Director for Decoding Dyslexia. Decoding Dyslexia is a nonprofit that's committed to helping struggling readers and their families. We are all here today to celebrate the 9th annual Minnesota Literacy Day. Yay! So many people have worked to make the READ Act a success. We want to say a big thanks to the legislative leaders that authored the bill, Representative Heather Adelson and Senator May Quaid. We want to do a big thanks to Governor Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. They were a big help, and I want to say a big thanks to our partners at Great Minnesota Schools. Who's from Great Minnesota Schools? Yay! All right. So, were you kids in the front? Can you guys help me get this party started? Okay? Who's got a banner? Who's got a banner? Who can tell me what that banner says? Who can read it? Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Can you say that? Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Again, today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Louder. Today a reader, tomorrow a reader. That's right. Being a good reader is so important. And that's why the READ Act is so important. And there are 3 ways that the READ Act is going to help all of Minnesota. The first way is for kids. 50% of all kids in Minnesota don't read at grade level. 50%. We can do better. And the READ Act is providing a curriculum to schools that is based on the science of reading. And that curriculum is going to help kids, all kids, get to be better readers. But you know who it's really going to help? It's really going to help kids that struggle with reading. The second way that the READ Act is going to help is teachers. Teachers are going to get all new training on teaching literacy that is systematic, explicit, and sequential. And when they take that training, they are going to get to be the superpowers of readers. And they're going to help all kids learn to read better, and it will really work well for kids that are struggling readers. And the third way the READ Act is going to help people in Minnesota is jobs. Yes, jobs. Because kids that get to be good readers, they get good jobs. And if they get good jobs, what will they become? A leader. Say it again. Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Now you're going to hear from some people this morning. They're going to tell you personal stories about reading. And the first person you're going to hear from today is the woman that got it all started. We are so happy to have Representative Heather Adelson. Heather?
Well, good morning. Oh, good morning. All right. How many of you have been to the Capitol before? Raise your hands. Oh, okay. Well, welcome to those of you that have already been here. Welcome back. And those of you that are just coming here, welcome. This is the Minnesota Capitol, but we also call it the People's House. Yeah? And so the people come here. This is the rotunda. We come here and we gather on issues that we can build support on so that we ask our state to make a change. And last year, we made a really big change by the first time passing a historic investment in the READ Act. So you've heard a little bit about it. Learning how to read is really important. And sometimes it's hard to learn how to read. And so the READ Act is really trying to acknowledge that it's not the same for everyone. We are all individuals. Who likes football? Raise your hands. Great. Who likes soccer? Raise your hands. Okay, what am I missing? Basketball, raise your hands. great. Just like you like different sports, everything becomes, it's easier and different for everybody to do certain things. For me, it was really hard to learn how to read. I was in third grade, I was held back, I still could not read, and they said, I don't understand. Why can't this girl read? She seems so smart. She seems so intelligent. I don't understand. I struggled because I had a thing called dyslexia, but we didn't know what it was then when I was growing up, and I'm 43, so it was a long time ago. So when I got to the Capitol, it was one of the things that I've worked on. I have sons that it was really hard for them to learn how to read, and so the READ Act is making it easier for all of you. And so I hope that as you grow up, you will become advocates, and one of you will run to take my place here at the Capitol. Does anybody want to run for office and work here? Anybody? Yeah? Okay, yeah, we can need more of you to raise your hand. That will be good. Okay, well, thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here for Literacy Day. This is a bipartisan collective here. We are all doing it, and please do. We are having a little bit of a bumpy road right now behind the scenes, so if you could just please write your legislators and make sure that they ask for an investment of the I think we have $67 million coming this year. $67 million, direct appropriations to schools. Our schools need it, and I need your help. Thank you so much.
Good morning. It is good to be in the People's House today. Thank you for being here. My name is Representative Patricia Mueller, and I've been a teacher for almost 20 years. And kiddos, I think you have flags, yes? Let's see them. Let's see the flags. We've already been saying all over again that today a reader, tomorrow a leader. I would like to say, listen, how important this is. The investment in the decision, the bill that we passed last term, or the last year, was really a good first step as we say that every child deserves to be taught with the science of reading, and that every teacher gets to be taught the science of reading so that they're able to teach reading. And every parent gets to have a child that is taught in the science of reading. That it is a lie that you cannot read, and parents, it is a lie that your children cannot read. Your children can read, and we need to hold fast to the science of reading. We have people who have a vested interest in keeping the system the same. We stand today, right now, that says we will not allow to have the system stay the same. We will disrupt that system so that your children can read, our teachers can teach, and they become the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you, and God bless Minnesota.
Well, good morning, everyone. I joked with these guys back here. I have to follow Patricia Mueller, Representative Mueller. She's on fire today. So my name is Ben Bakeberg, and I have the honor to represent 54B. That means nothing to many of you in the room. It's the communities of Jordan, Prior Lake, a portion of Shakopee, and the surrounding townships. So not only am I a state representative, but I am a middle school principal. So education and literacy are my passions because I have seen firsthand the impact that not being able to read has on our kids. Okay, look at these kids right here. Amazing potential for these students. I remember as a fifth grader sitting on those stairs and Representative Tony Ahnen talking to us about the importance of education, and now I stand here in the rotunda. So kids, this could be you someday. The foundation for that is literacy. We have to push through the partisan division. We have to do what's right for our kids so that we can actually live this out and develop readers today and leaders tomorrow. This, you got it. Say it again. All right, that's awesome. Kids, let's say it together. Readers today, leaders tomorrow. Thank you. Let's get this done and let's work together. This should not be a partisan issue. This is what is best for all of Minnesota. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce McKenna Whitestein, a 12th grade student from East Ridge High School.
Imagine being diagnosed with dyslexia in first grade, living in 3 states, and attending 5 different schools with only 2 schools truly understanding dyslexia, and neither of those here in Minnesota. Hi, my name is McKenna Wetstein. I'm a 12th grader at Eastridge High School in the South Washington County School District. My journey has not been an easy one. It's tough when schools don't have good programs to help kids like me. We need to do better for kids with dyslexia. My parents have fought so hard and yet have continued to experience battle after battle. We even went to court that lasted my entire junior year. I really hoped to win the trial so the school would have been held accountable for me being at a 2nd grade fluency and a 5th grade reading level in 10th grade. Let me tell you, having good grades, especially with accommodations and modifications, doesn't mean I'm fine. We have to keep fighting for change. Now I'm getting daily private tutoring. It's very helpful, but I have a long way to go. My story is not unique. There are millions of kids just like me facing the same uphill battle every single day in school. We need to stop fighting the schools need to stop fighting the parents. We learned that our school district spent at least $500,000 in legal fees in the past 5 years. They spent our taxpayer dollars fighting us instead of hiring a qualified teacher. In District 833, 50% of kids can't read it proficiently at grade level. Everyone wins when there's a specialized reading instructor for those kids like me, and one-on-one services with qualified teachers. So, to the policymakers and leaders gathered here today, I say this: listen to our voices, hear our struggles, our triumphs, our dreams for a future where dyslexia is not seen as a problem. Although I stand here today, terrified to read in front of you, my hope is to be a teacher one day, and that my frustration, tears, sadness, fear, and shame would all be worth it to give kids in Minnesota hope that literacy is valued. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ann Johnson, and I work as the Vice President of Education at the Northside Achievement Zone. Oh, yes, yes. When I was in 3rd grade, my teacher told me I couldn't read and I'll never be able to read. The crazy thing was, I could read. I was a great reader. But because I didn't look like the rest of the class, she assumed that I couldn't read. 42 years later, as an educator, as a teacher, I am here as a proud grandparent of Nellie Stone Johnson, who has the opportunity to have services to support reading, the science of reading in their school, thanks to Groves, thanks to Reading Partners, and Reading Corps. And it's without those services that they would not be able to be good readers. And as you've heard, 50% in Minnesota aren't proficient, while on the north side, it's 17%. That's unconstitutional. We have to change that. The other day, my kindergarten grandson read to me. He started out kindergarten at the school that I was at before. It didn't work. So I moved him to Nellie Stone Johnson, and he is reading. My kindergarten grandson, stand up, Ali, is reading, and I am so proud of him. And not only is he reading, his goal is to be a leader, and he will be a leader because he's reading. And we have to make sure that all of our scholars have that ability to learn how to read, and we should not have to fight. And I'm so proud of you, young lady. I am so proud of that young lady, because she too is a leader and will continue to be a leader. So we are going to do what's right for our scholars wherever they live, whatever color they are, and wherever they come from, because it's our right. Is that right? Thank you.
Now, I would like to take the chance to introduce the Minnesota Governor
Walt to the stand to talk to all of you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm catching up with everyone on Friends. Great to see you in your house today. Thank you for being here, to each and every one of you, and to watch the power of citizens and democracy working. A year ago, many of you gathered here, many of these little ones gathered, and you hear me talk a lot about, I want to make Minnesota the best state in the country for children to grow up in. Whether that's delivering on meals in schools or child tax credits or safety in our streets or housing for the parents, this is another piece of that, of making sure all of our children and all of their teachers have the tools necessary to make sure that our children get the joy and the work that's needed so that they can read as they need to and want to. So I'm incredibly grateful for the coalition that was put together. The READ Act is something that is a model for the rest of the country. Minnesota has led in many places, and this is a large coalition. And as a teacher and as a parent of a public school student, I know the importance of this. All of those years ago in my teacher training, I had an incredible professor named Dr. Charlene Coates, and her job as a social studies geography teacher major that I was, her job in our methods classes was to teach reading in the content area and to provide the necessary strategies for every teacher to be able to employ that for each student's need. And what the READ Act does is it adds to that toolbox for teachers who want to do the best, but we have come a long ways. We know that there's a lot of evidence-based research that shows where we can make a difference. And those teachers who have all of those beautiful students, and each one needs to get the best education possible, the more tools, the more training we give them, the more support we give them, the better outcomes we get. Because the goal here is to make sure each and every one of these children can thrive and reach their full potential. And so for all of you who did the work necessary to get this there, who did the work to get this bill passed, now the way this works is we celebrate for a couple minutes, and now you're back here to make sure we improve upon it. You're back here to make sure that we fund what we need to fund. And my job is to make sure that we implement. And I think you need to be very clear about this is we need to be open enough to know if we have to change track, change track. If we have to do something different, do something different. Because that ultimate goal does not change. We want our students to be able to read, and we want to use the best evidence we have to use those strategies accordingly. So I just have to say, there's a huge thank you here. A thank you to these students who are working hard to do what they need to do. A thank you to the parents who are engaged, and I say this as a public school teacher. Active parent engagement in my classroom made my classroom better every day. It added to what we needed to do. And then I want to thank the broad coalition of experts in the fields, of coalition groups. And I think a special thank you because this is so important to us for these students and for our future as a state. The business community who got involved in this. I'll give a personal privilege shout out. Archie Black is here who helped lead a lot of this work. And we talk about a lot of things, but there was not a time when Archie wasn't there saying, this is something that we can do. This is something that is nonpartisan. This is something that unites Minnesotans together. And I think through sheer force of will and the desire to help Minnesota, Archie, you were instrumental in helping us get this done. So I want to say thank you for that. Now let's continue to get the work done. Let's measure. Let's measure. My wife, an educator of over 30 years, often says is, if you truly value it, you'll measure it. Because then when you measure it, you will start to understand what you're getting. So if we value this, let's measure it, let's be honest with ourselves, and then let's use strategies that make a difference. So to each and every one of you, yes, this is a day of celebration, but then it's a day to today successfully go and talk to folks. The one thing that's really great about this cause is it's not partisan, it's not divisive, it's something we all believe in. I think you can today, like you did last year, build a coalition to continue and improve upon this act and get the results we need. So thank you on behalf of all Minnesotans. Grateful. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. Nice. Well, wait 1 minute. You guys are already the best. But Okay, this side was great. Good morning, students. Fantastic. Is there anybody here from Groves Academy? That's fantastic. My name is Kurt Zellers. I'm the CEO of the Minnesota Business Partnership. So, we're here today because we want to see these future leaders that are now our readers. You are going to be the next CEO. So, one of the things that I heard about you guys and watching you take the picture on the steps and just now is you have fantastic manners. So, there are a lot of grown-ups. I want you all to turn and don't get up though, you're not allowed to stand, but look behind you and then look up above you. See all the grown-ups around you? They're all here for you. Why? Because you guys are the most important part of today. It's about your ability to read. So, as the governor said, there's a lot of thank yous. So this is, they call it the people's house. So I need you guys to help me with one really good manners, I think. Can you guys help me with that? Students, yes? You guys ready? Okay. So all of the folks at the Capitol that helped provide the funding did that just for you. So what do you do when someone does something nice for you? What do you say? Right. So we are going to say the loudest thank you at the Minnesota Capitol this week to all the legislators and the governor and everybody who works. So on the count of 3, I want to hear the loudest thank you that you guys have, okay? 1, she's ready. You guys are going to be loud. She's already covering her ears. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Whoa. I don't know if they heard you in that part of the building, though. We better do it one more time, because I think this side was louder again. You guys ready? Okay, one more thank you. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. I think the whole state heard you. Well, thank you so much, students. Like many of you, my son Ben, who is a 4th grader, had a little bit of trouble learning to read. Super smart kid. Super great personality, but he had a hard time reading and it made him sad. Sometimes when you guys have a hard time reading, it make you sad. And then when you learn to read, how did you feel after that? Happy, right? So that's what we want to make sure, that you love to read. The Minnesota Business Partnership is so focused on this. We donated it was like a big check, this big, of money to build a better library at Monroe School. And what I would like is for all of you guys to keep building the libraries. If you guys keep reading books, we'll keep paying for more books. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for the excellent manners and for saying thank you to all the legislators. Please tell your friends, tell your parents, your cousins, your moms, your dads. Reading is so important, and ask them for their help. Thank you guys. Have a great day at the Capitol. We're proud of you all.
It's now my honor to bring Celine onto the stage. Celine is a 3rd grade student at Harriet Bishop Elementary School in Rochester, Minnesota.
Hello, my name is Celine, and I'm in 3rd grade, and I go to Bishop Elementary. In 1st grade in Turkey, my teachers were really not nice to me. I didn't know the ABCs or the letters. Then my mom brought me to the doctors if I was all right. Then she told I have a dyslexia. And then we moved to Rochester, Minnesota. I started the Reading Center, and I started a new school. My school's name was Bishop Elementary. My teachers were helping me too with reading and writing. And then in 3rd grade, I still go on with Bishop Elementary. I'm still getting help from the Reading Center. I want a big offer to Rochester, Minnesota, to help students who have dyslexia and to help with teachers and students. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brandon Button. I am a teacher and instructional coach in Roseville area schools here in the Twin Cities area. And I stand before you today with immense pride, and I'll share our journey that Roseville area schools has embarked upon since embracing structured literacy. With every step, we have witnessed a transformational change that has not only elevated academic achievement, but has also ignited a passion for learning in all of our students. Our journey in Roseville started in 2020, when our district was in search of a new reading curriculum. One of the steps of the process was to review the current literature on the subject. So we needed to find out what experts were saying about how to teach kids to read. Our team of teachers, administrators, family members all reviewed over 100 pieces of research, podcasts, books, and articles. This became our knowledge base, which led us to choose the curriculum that we implemented this fall. We strongly believe that this curriculum, which follows structured literacy, is the best reading program we have ever had. Since the implementation of this program, the results have been very positive. Our students have demonstrated great growth in their reading proficiency. And in fact, in my own school, a foundational reading skills assessment shows that 61% of our kindergarten and first grade students have made aggressive growth in their reading proficiency since the fall. That is something to celebrate. But you know what? Perhaps the most rewarding aspect of the journey is witnessing the transformational change in our students' confidence and self-esteem. No longer do they see themselves as struggling readers. Instead, our students embrace the challenges with resilience and determination, knowing that they possess the skills to overcome any obstacle. As we reflect on our achievements, let us reaffirm our commitment to providing every student with the opportunity to thrive. Structured literacy has laid the foundation for success, but it is our collective dedication to excellence that will continue to propel us forward. Together, let us celebrate the success and the bright future that lies ahead for every student in Minnesota. Thank you.
Hi. This is my normal crowd right here. My name is Lori Sloshmacher. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Falcon Heights Elementary in Roseville. I began my Science of Reading journey in 2021 when I joined the English Language Arts Committee along with Brandon. We started our journey because we were making the decision to change our approach to reading instruction. We started by working and listening to many podcasts and reading articles. After we learned so much, I had this overwhelming feeling of guilt as I uncovered how inadequate and damaging our present approach to teaching reading was for many students. This approach was especially damaging for students who struggled to read or had dyslexia. Not only did I feel remorse as a teacher of reading, but I felt immense regret as the parent of a child of dyslexia. My daughter was diagnosed with dyslexia when she was in 4th grade, but she did not qualify for any services through the public schools. As parents, we tried to find tutoring and help outside of the school system, but back in 1999, there wasn't very much available. So she struggled throughout her whole K-12 education. She didn't get the specific help that she needed and deserved until she applied for screening at a disability center at her college. We now know better, so we must do better. I am excited to say that in Minnesota, Roseville was an early adopter of structured literacy and a believer in the science of reading. Our district, as Brandon mentioned, has now adopted high quality reading instruction that includes phonics, phonemic awareness, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. Our students are growing and thriving as we embark on our literacy approach through the lens of research. I am so proud of my daughter, who's here today. Give him a wave. And I'm so proud of Minnesota for passing the READ Act. So now all Minnesota students will get the explicit and systematic reading instruction that they so deserve. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. How are you? Let's try that again. Kids, how are you today? There we go. I'm glad you're excited to be here. I'm very excited to be here with you today this morning. Let me ask you guys, how many of you love reading? I'm going to ask that one more time. Put your hand in the air and let me know if you love to read. Excellent, excellent. Well, here's what we love. We love to see you all here smiling and excited about learning how to read. And please help me do something that's very important. Kids, I need your help with this, so listen very closely. When I count to 3, I want us to all yell a very big thank you to all the teachers and volunteers and everybody who has spent so much time helping all of us learn how to read and who keep working with us here at the legislature to make sure you all have the tools and resources you need to succeed when it comes to your journey on reading. So remember, on the count of 3, we're going to yell thank you. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, thank you! Wow, I think we may have just set a record for the loudest yell ever in the Rotundra. Kids, I want to thank you all very, very much for being here, for your energy. Thanks to every adult out there who's helping our kids all across Minnesota learn how to read. The work we do is so important. The legislation that was passed last year with the READ Act is absolutely critical. And we have to do what we can to help our kids all across this state learn how to read and succeed academically. So from the bottom of my heart, to the people in the back here who are standing up, thank you for being here, for prioritizing our kids, for all the work you do in our schools, and thank you to the volunteers who make sure that we as legislators know and understand what needs to happen and how we have to support our teachers and all they're doing on behalf of our kids. So I'm going to ask you all one more time to say thank you, and then I'm going to head out and let y'all do what you're doing for the rest of the day, okay? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. All right, thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you to Senator Duckworth. Next up, I have the honor of introducing Ryan, who is an 8th grade student.
Hello, my name is Ryan and I'm an 8th grader with dyslexia. I did not know I had dyslexia until 5th grade and when I enrolled into Groves Academy. And then there they told me. At Groves, I learned how to read using phonics and other multisensory techniques to sound out letters and words. Eventually, I learned how to read fluently. Learning to read boosted my self-confidence and decreased my anxiety. After 2 years at Groves, I was reading fluently in that grade level. And then after, I transferred to a small Catholic school. Now my favorite subject is English, and in this class we take weekly vocabulary tests on 8th grade level words, read novels, and take comprehension tests and write reflections. Going forward, I feel like I can learn anything I set my mind to, and in this coming fall I will be a first-year student at the Academy of Holy Angels, which is a college prep high school. I believe that Minnesota needs to improve their literacy program for all their students. I inspired my family friend to use phonics-based readings for students in her English class for immigrants who do not speak any English. Since this change, she has noticed significant improvement in her students and the reading abilities. Now, after using phonics, she is sold on this and will continue using this for her future classes. My question is, if If I didn't know how to read, would I ever graduate high school, and what career opportunities I would have? I'm so happy I don't need to wonder about this since I've received the help and support I need to learn at grade level. Please help Minnesota students learn at their grade level. Thank you.
And now it's my honor to bring Brianna, a 10th grade student from Cambridge, Minnesota, to the stage.
Hello, my name is Brianna Dickey, and I was diagnosed with dyslexia in first grade. I remember school being very hard for me. I started getting anxiety just from attending school because every day I felt myself falling farther and farther behind than everyone else. Well, I only knew 10 letters of the alphabet. Everyone else had already started reading sentences or books. Fortunately, my parents knew something was wrong, and they took me in to get tested for dyslexia. When the test came back positive, I still didn't feel any different than before. I didn't like being different than everyone else. I liked to fit in, and with dyslexia, it felt like I couldn't. I started seeing speech and reading teachers in school, one of which I formed a great relationship with and still talk to her today. My teachers tried to help me as much as they could, but they didn't know how to teach me in a way I understood. A month after my diagnosis, I got a tutor. Something finally clicked in my head, and I was learning faster than I had in school. She used methods I'd never been taught before, and I started understanding. By 5th grade, I felt more confident with my reading than I had before. My teachers helped me a lot, and I started to understand at the same pace as my peers. I knew I was different, but I embraced it and was happy to share the techniques I had learned from my tutor. I was fortunate to have parents who could provide me with 6 years worth of tutoring. However, not everyone is as fortunate as I was. With the help of my tutor, I got the help I needed, and with the passing of the READ Act, I hope that kids can get the help in schools instead of having to pay for a private tutor because a lot of families can't afford it. I learned that reading shouldn't be scary or intimidating, but with the support and the right curriculum, every child is able to learn comfortably at their own pace. My life changed when I learned how to read, and I found out that I actually really enjoyed it, and it made me happy. Now I'm a straight A and B student who takes advanced classes and has strong relationships with my teachers who are willing to help me when I get stuck. My hope is that with the changes made to schools, all kids in Minnesota can have the same opportunity to learn like I did. Teachers should have the appropriate training until all kids can read and get the support they need. Thank you.
Hello, My name is Josie Harris. All right, students, I have a question for you. Raise your hand if you're in 4th grade. Awesome. Anyone in 5th grade? Yeah. I am a student teacher from Bethel University, and I get to work with 4th and 5th graders, and I love to read. I think so many of us love reading because we can make connections with characters as they go on new adventures. Maybe we relate with Junie B. Jones when someone tells us, "It'll be fun, I promise." And so we get on the bus, and guess what? It wasn't so fun. Books can take us on journeys and bring us to new places. Literature exemplifies common human experiences like love, laughter, and life. However, if we are not properly taught how to read, we miss out on learning about ourselves, others, and the world around us. Similarly, when educators aren't taught about the science of reading, we can't truly teach our students how to read. In my experience as an elementary education major at Bethel University, I have been taught about the power of the science of reading. As a current 4th and 5th grade student teacher, I have experienced the power of this evidence-based research in both my students' lives and my own. Reflecting on my own journey of learning how to read back in 2008, I realized that without the power of the science of reading, I was taught to just memorize words and use the guess and check method, which didn't help me develop proper reading skills or grow my confidence. I was eager to read and would often be found reading books upside down. I even remember lying to my 1st grade teacher, pretending to know how to pronounce a word just so I could move on to the next book. Even as a college student, I still struggled with with spelling and sounding out words because this isn't something that I was taught as a student. However, once my literacy professor, Dr. Pear, introduced me to the science of reading, I learned how to reteach myself how to read and write and how to actually teach my students. I learned and Thank you. In my current classroom with 4th and 5th graders, their teachers taught them this evidence-based reading strategy. Now as upper elementary students, like many of you, they are accelerated readers and can decode almost any word put in front of them. Across all subject areas, they can practice skills like making inferences by using context clues from the book. They also have a passion for reading. Reading is empowering them in their education and future career. This is the power of the science of reading at work. This evidence-based approach has created an equitable and successful learning environment as seen through the increase in my students' test scores and overall confidence in reading. I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude to Bethel University and Dr. Pear for teaching me how to teach students to read. Learning about the science of reading at the collegiate level has prepared me for my future teaching career. I teach kids so that they're readers today and tomorrow can be leaders. Thank you.
Good morning, students. You were so much louder for everybody else. How about a little louder good morning? Good morning. Wow. Fantastic. Well, I'm Archie Black, and I'm executive chair at a company called SPS Commerce, and I'm so proud to be here amongst readers, leaders, and future leaders. So how many of you are going to be a future leader? I want to see all the hands. You're all going to be future leaders. All right. Well, the business community has been very, very involved in the READ Act, and it's not surprising because we are falling behind as a state. So less than half of our students are reading at grade level. So science of reading is something that absolutely every single student in Minnesota needs. We need to develop the students and the leaders of tomorrow. So that's our goal, is to be able to truly develop the leaders for tomorrow. Now, we got a couple asks. One, first off, I realize now that one of the reasons I am in a leadership position is that I was able to learn to read. And from there, you get to read to learn, right? And so as a lifelong learner, a lot of the people here are lifelong learners, you continue to read. So with the READ Act, we have a couple challenges that I really want you to get behind. One is time is not on our side. We have about 60,000 kindergartners, 60,000 first graders, 60,000 second graders, third graders, fourth graders, fifth graders. So I'm a little bit of a math geek. If you say half of those students are lost every year that we delay this and we try to do it slow but good, I like fast but good, so let's not do this slow but good. Every year we lose, that's 30,000 at least. The number I heard was 50%. I think it's more than that. We lose 30,000 kindergartners and 30,000 first graders and 30,000 second graders. That's a lot of real live students. So I ask you to push your legislators to not only do this right, but we need to do it now. Now. And then the second thing we need to do is all teachers need to have the resources to be able to learn to teach the science of reading. So we need to make sure we have funding so your great teachers that are so dedicated and so want to teach you to read are there and have the money. So that's the big ask today, is let's do it fast and let's make sure we have the money to do it so that all of you and all of the students that are younger than you can become leaders in this great state. So thank you very much, and let's keep reading.
My name is Dr. Artika Tyner. I'm honored to be here today as a proud native of St. Paul and of the Rondo community. This day means something important to me because as the founder of Planting People Growing Justice Leadership Institute, we have a clear message and mission to promote literacy and diversity in books And how do we do this? So now I'm going to speak directly to my young people in front of me. We do this by helping you to get a passport to the future. So can you say passport? Can you say it louder, passport? Much better. We know, according to Malcolm X, he wisely stated that education is the passport to the future. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. And this passport that we're talking about today is reading. But the reality is that for far too many children that look like me, that passport has permanently been revoked. It's revoked when in my Rondo community, less than 25% of children are proficient in reading. It's revoked when those same children only have a proficiency in STEM, the career of the future, at 10%. This is no longer a problem that we can sit and look at. It's a call to action. So as we talk about a right to read, we're talking about a right to lead change for our children and with our children. But how do we do this? We do this today by taking action. But it's not today, it's every day, because we say right to read. Can you say right to read? Thank you. And then we say right to lead. We only can do that with a solid foundation of reading. And today is that change. So let me close with telling you a little bit about my story. I traveled the world before I ever got on a plane with this passport of reading for the future. I traveled and climbed the Great Wall of China before I reached it nearly 20 years later. I had a chance to see the safaris in South Africa and Tanzania through the power of books. The library was my home, and books were my refuge and strength. But you may be thinking, Dr. Tyner, how does this really relate to you? Oh, I have a stake in the game. Because we know when 1 in 4 American children cannot read, it increases their likelihood of 4 times of dropping out of school. And if they drop out of school, it increases their likelihood of being incarcerated by 3 times. I'm also an attorney, and far too many of my clients learn how to read while in prison. We don't have to keep the same broken systems. We can invest in the future, we can take action for the future, and we can lead change. Thank you.
Hi, y'all. I'm Dr. Amy Robinson, and I get the privilege of wrapping up this amazing rally that we've had here today. So as we draw this gathering to the close, I'm reminded of the role that reading plays in the lives of every individual, regardless of age or background. Today, we rallied around the importance of reading instruction, grounded firmly in the science of reading. Why? Because it's a cornerstone ensuring that no one is left behind in the journey of learning. We stand united in our commitment to ensure that every student, without exception, masters the art of reading. We envision a Minnesota where the implementation of the READ Act is not just successful, but exemplary, where students get the instruction they deserve and teachers have the resources to provide their students with what they need. I want to extend my gratitude to the Great Minnesota Schools as our co-hosts. I also want to extend my gratitude to our coalition partners, IDA Upper Midwest, Groves, and the Reading Center for their collaboration with this event. And to each one of you, your presence today matters. Your stories matter. Your dedication to the cause is what propels us forward on our mission to make literacy a reality for all. So join me one last time in our chant. I'll say today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Today a reader. We can do that louder. Today a reader. Thank you.